Hollywood has long been known for its glitz and glamour, but behind the scenes, many shocking scandals have exposed the darker side of the industry. From explosive legal battles to allegations of abuse and corruption, these scandals have rocked the celebrity world, revealing hidden secrets and forever changing the public's view of Hollywood's elite. Number 10. The arrest of Paul McCartney for narcotics offenses. As a result of his enormous celebrity status, Paul McCartney has maintained his robustness throughout his life and has only infrequently found himself in problems. But during his trip to Japan in January 1980, McCartney found himself in a considerable amount of difficulties. Because he was discovered at the airport with half a pound of a certain substance, his plan to play with his band Wings was completely scrapped. There were significant allegations of smuggling brought against McCartney, and he faced the possibility of serving a prison sentence of 7 years. On the other hand, he was discreetly freed and deported from the nation after only 9 days of being held in a narcotics detention camp. At the time, it was a very significant piece of news, but what do people remember about it? What about the occasion that Paul McCartney was arrested importing narcotics into Japan, or the song Penny Lane? Number 9. The assaultive statements made by Manny Pacquiao. Boxer. Manny Pacquiao, who is from the Philippines, is considered by some to be the greatest of all time. He retired with a record of 62 wins and 8 losses, as well as several world titles, including 3 in the welterweight division of the World Boxing Organization. On the other hand, because he was caught on camera making extremely homophobic comments on Filipino television in 2016, his public image became involved in scandal. Nike even severed their long-standing and fruitful association with the boxer as a result of his statements, which provoked uproar on a global scale. His words, on the other hand, did not conclude his career. It wasn't until 2021 that Pacquiao continued his solid boxing career, during which he won multiple welterweight belts. Until June 2022, he also held the position of senator for the Republic of the Philippines. Number 8. The accident that caused Caitlyn Jenner's death in a car. Caitlyn Jenner was in the headlines for a different reason in February 2015, very close to the time when she made her public announcement that she was transgender. Jenner was involved in a multi-vehicle incident that resulted in the death of Kim Howe, who was 69 years old. The crash occurred when Jenner's SUV collided with the rear of Howe's Lexus. Jenner was not charged with any criminal offenses as a result of the investigation, which did not uncover any instances of negligence on her behalf. As a result of Jenner's decision to come out as transgender in April 2015, as well as the fact that she has subsequently become an outspoken public figure within the LGBTQ community, the news of the tragedy stopped being reported. Sadly, Jenner is not the first famous person to have been engaged in an automobile accident that resulted in death. Following a head-on collision in Northern Ireland in 1987, Matthew Broderick was responsible for the deaths of a mother and her adult daughter. Number 7. The scandals that occur behind the scenes of David Letterman. A producer for the television show 48 Hours attempted to blackmail David Letterman for $2 million in 2009 because Letterman had sexual relations with staff. Because Letterman did not pay off the individual, the truth was eventually revealed. This matter was brought up by Letterman in October, and a few days later, he extended his apologies to his wife and his co-workers for the difficulties that he had caused them. At the time of the affair, there was some concern that Letterman was using his position of authority as a tool to convince colleagues to have sexual relations with him. However, this concern has now been dispelled. Even in this day and age, with all of the scandals that have occurred, Letterman is still primarily considered to be one of the best nighttime comedy shows. Number 6. Assaults with Chris Brown. This rapper has a laundry list that is filled with a great deal of filthy objects. The most notorious of these was his arrest in 2009, which followed his assault on Rihanna, who was his girlfriend at the time. Even though he was charged, offered a plea bargain, and publicly apologized for his actions, it would not be his final offense. The events that transpired after that included a confrontation with Drake's crew, a confrontation with Frank Ocean, an alleged standoff with the Los Angeles Police Department in 2016 when he allegedly chased a woman out of his house, and an accusation of aggravated assault in Paris in 2019. In each of these instances, the charges against Brown were either withdrawn, they were not pursued, or he was released on bail. Number 5. The shoplifting scandal involving Winona Ryder. With roles in films such as Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands, Winona Ryder accomplished a significant deal of success during the 1980s and 1990s, making her one of the most famous actors of the decade. Her career, however, took a nosedive in 2001 when she was discovered stealing items from Saks Fifth Avenue that were valued at more than $5,000. In her statement, Ryder stated that the prescription medication she was taking had influenced her judgment. Even though she was able to avoid going to jail, she was sentenced to 3 years of probation and roughly 500 hours of community service. In the immediate following, she had a difficult time achieving the same amount of praise that she had previously achieved. It wasn't until the 2016 season of Stranger Things that Ryder would make a significant comeback. Number 4. Ben Affleck is keeping his family history a secret. Finding Your Roots is a public broadcasting service (PBS) program in which Henry Louis Gates Jr., a professor at Harvard University, provides celebrities with their family tree histories. Even though it is a fun concept, it frequently brings up some unsettling realities, such as a documented history of human ownership. The news that one of Ben Affleck's distant ancestors was involved in this contentious historical event was brought to his attention. On the other hand, this particular piece of information was left out of the episode because Affleck asked for it to be left out. The fact that he had succeeded in convincing the producers to remove that particular piece from the program was brought to light following the infamous Sony email hack that occurred in 2015. About their lack of editorial integrity, both Affleck and PBS were subjected to extremely harsh criticism. Number 3. The arrest of Matthew McConaughey, an unusual incident. In October in the year 1999, Matthew McConaughey was taken into custody at his residence in Austin, Texas, for the possession of marijuana as well as marijuana paraphernalia. Around 3 in the morning, McConaughey was reportedly playing bongos while naked, and the police were called in to investigate a noise complaint that had been lodged against him. According to reports, McConaughey protested when one of the officers urged him to put on a pair of pants during the arrest, and it is stated that he shoved the officer to get his attention. To our great relief, this episode did not result in any serious consequences, since the actor was merely detained for a single night, and no charges were brought against him. Second, Reese Witherspoon's run-in with the lawmakers. In 2013, Witherspoon was arrested in Atlanta for disorderly behavior. Witherspoon was drunkenly mouthing out to a police officer after her husband was stopped over after being suspected of driving under the influence. Embarrassed by her behavior that night, Witherspoon owned up to it, pled no contest, and paid more than $300 in court expenses and a fine. The Oscar-winning actress made the talk show rounds to apologize for the incident, and quickly after, everyone forgot about it. Then, as if nothing had happened, Witherspoon resumed her job as a beloved role model, returning to the characters she had previously played. Rob Lowe's sex tape at number 1 Rob Lowe is said to have had sexual relations with at least one young woman and maybe another woman of legal age while he was in Atlanta for the Democratic National Convention in 1988. How are we able to know? A sexually explicit video was made public. While Lowe was 24 years old at the time, his girlfriend was at a young age that deserves some questioning. The tape, which also featured Lowe and one of his buddies engaging in sexual actions with a model in Paris, garnered a lot of attention and was widely distributed. It was widely reported in the media, and many people expected that his career would come to an end. Even though it unquestionably slowed down his progress, he has undoubtedly recovered. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching.